Looks like a children's birthday party over there. That's nice. Good morning. So I'm continuing with my own training. And I'm playing around with the way of training at my own level. Playing the music that I want to play. While just teaching some basic things that hopefully helps people. So hopefully this all just evolves naturally, and then we'll get a transcript and put it through Grok, and then perhaps make a PDF and some diagrams, perhaps even some math basic charts to help people understand, to help us understand, to help myself. So what I'm working with here is the practice of enhancing the vagal tone. Practice of enhancing the vagal tone. So to lay the groundwork for this practice, is that first we have to distinguish between sympathetic and parasympathetic functions in our body, and then psychological things that correspond to each of those. So and thereby, I give myself a challenge to work with. It's just like if you're a serious martial artist, you're not going to have a problem with, going out there and putting yourself in harm's way, or at least in humility's way, or the potential for, that you may be beaten. So, yeah, as a serious practitioner of my art form, so I must put myself in, I can't go out there and put myself in harm's way, but what I can do is here I can put myself at least in criticism's way. So detachment, it's one of the first things. Detachment, relaxation, can help us to develop the vagal tone of the parasympathetic nervous system. So even just in speaking now, I have to use tones that put myself in my parasympathetic. And now, as this is also a type of training for martial arts, how is that? So there is perhaps some time and place for sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, tension, perhaps punching somebody. But the thing is, when our sympathetic nervous system spikes, we're thrown out of our emotional baseline. We're thrown out of our baseline. Okay, so there's a few other components. Groundwork. So if we can distinguish between sympathetic and parasympathetic, what is a thought or an action or a tension in the body, that we become bothered by, attached to. And then what is letting go of that, detachment, relaxation, and we stabilize in our parasympathetic. So the stabilizer muscle system, the stabilizer muscle system. Which I think also corresponds to the somatic nervous system. The stabilizer muscle system the autonomous nervous system, central nervous system. Let me just get this right. So the central nervous system, brain, spinal cord, and which regulates our motor functions and all the stuff that our central nervous system regulates and allows us to consciously control. Central nervous system. Okay, and then the autonomous nervous system, which is more difficult to control. You can't really directly control the autonomous nervous system. You can, for example, my breathing. My breathing is kind of, our breathing is kind of an axis or a bridge through which we can harmonize and regulate our autonomous nervous system. So that's breathing, heart rate, perhaps some other things. Let's Grok, please help us out here. Hormonal stuff and everything else that is correspond to the autonomous nervous system. Okay, so the stabilizer muscle system, which I can relax into. Okay, I think it's via a parasympathetic way that I'm relaxing into my stabilizer muscle system, which can automatically stabilize and align my body. Almost automatically. The stabilizer muscle system through my letting go, let go, let go, let go, let go, and through I'm keeping my awareness up, but I'm letting go into my stabilizer muscle system. Through the somatic wave that I'm following. Okay, follow it down. Okay. Now I start to inflate. I'm fully pushed out. Okay. Now I start to inflate, and then I follow it to the top. Now I'm fully inflated. Now I let go. I scan through the body. As I scan through whatever, blockages or tension or problematic thoughts or whatever that I encounter, through the out breath and the deflation, I let go, I let it go, I let it go, I let it go, I let it go, through the axis of my vagus tone, vagus nerve, and then that inertia, I release it through into my so that inertia, that charge, that energy that was caught up in these blockages, thoughts, whatever, I release it through into my the field of my inertia, and my sense of that, in time and space, that's through my parasympathetic. So with regards to martial arts, social interactions, okay, martial arts, but fighting, okay. More often than not, we're going to be taught to rely on our sympathetic nervous system to, to punch, to block, to to do whatever. So I would say we do rely, correct me if I'm wrong, but we do rely on our parasympathetic nervous system for a lot of other movement. Bobbing, weaving, footwork, yielding. There are skills of movement which use the parasympathetic and somatic nervous system. Even to throw a punch, because normally if you throw a punch with too much sympathetic nervous system, and if I allow my emotions to spike and my sympathetic nervous system to spike, then hopefully I can punch someone, hurt someone, but I'm thrown out of my baseline, right? So then the question is, how can we develop martial arts movement? How can I throw a punch in a way that that recycles that inertia, and which even if I miss, I will not be thrown off balance, and I will not be thrown out of my emotional my baseline, and I can continue to reside in my stabilizer muscle system. Via my somatic. Doesn't actually require that much brute force actually to effectively to cause effective damage, or to pull the trigger of a gun, or to stab someone, or whatever you have to do. Yeah, it's like soldiers will be familiar with this, or marksmen, people that do shooting. after you pull the trigger, it doesn't matter. If the sight is on the target, you pull the trigger, the bullet is going to hit no matter what. So therefore, you don't want to have excessive sympathetic, tension in your arms. You don't want to have anything that is going to pull you out of your emotional baseline, pull you off center. Something, excessively holding the gun, or problematic, thought pattern related to, I have to, because no, as soon as you pull the trigger, so long as your stabilizer muscle system is stabilizing your body, and then boom, it's going to hit, and your body's going to be able to recycle the recoil, and you're going to be able to continue shooting and hitting the targets without losing your baseline. So how do we kind of contain sympathetic with parasympathetic? I contain I train to, so we have a training method here, which we, by enhancing our vagal tone, through this you can say breathing pattern, but it's a somatic pattern. It's a wave. The thing about a breathing pattern, which is a wave form pattern, is that a wave of energy, if I can actually harness that wave of somatic energy, it's always changing. It's always changing. So, and if we go deeper than that, and if we can harness, if we can ignite this this chi, this non-equilibrium, chaotic life force energy. It's Order from Chaos, Ilya Prigogine. The way in which living systems emerge. Okay, so that life force energy, which facilitates the emerging of living systems, and also the vitality of and sustaining a living system. Okay, so that's very strong while we're in the womb, while we're still connected to the umbilical cord and those somatic waves, and what this particular thing that it's kind of like the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao, or the God that can be spoken is not the eternal God, something like that. Like the thing that so all we can try and do here in our training method is try and converge towards the truth, but the truth, it's not it's this living plasma in a chaotic state, which is it's very chaotic. It's not anything, it's not fixed. So this life force energy, which at some point in this practice we may become aware of that, and that may start to happen. So at that point also it's important to have the foundation, this foundation of enhanced vagal tone to be able to contain that. when we can build up that life force energy, then we can enhance our vitality, our strength, our mind, mind skills. Okay, so I'm spiking a little bit. I feel a little bit of sympathetic spiking, a little bit of tension building up, perhaps from some things I just said and what it evoked some a little bit of stress. So I'm just going to work past that, smooth that out again, let it go. Deflating, 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 fully deflated, and then I inflate from the base. Fully inflated, and as I deflate, I scan through and release, 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 release. And so these somatic waves and a little bit of electrical activity, heat, it may start to happen. Okay, but so we just breathe through the exhale, through the deflation. I let go of any electrical activity I feel starting to happen, any somatic waves that I start feeling, any stress I start feeling, any thought, whatever it is. I let it go, I let it go, I let it go, I let it go. Let it go through the axis, which is facilitated by my vagus nerve, through the sympathetic, and then release through, and then as I deflate that, then that will charge up and inflate into the energy field of that is soaked into my that which corresponds to my parasympathetic. So I fully push everything out. As I inhale, I search for tingling, electric tingling, somatic waves. I breathe into it. And then I will thereby I will feel a little bit of alertness. Okay, alertness, and as I feel that alertness, I extend, I project my alertness upwards, fully inflated, and then let it go. Okay, now it's the yin. That was the yang cycle. Now it's the letting go, deflating yin, scanning through, letting go, letting go, letting go, letting go, detaching, detaching, letting go, letting go, letting go. I can slightly compromise my my structure. As I deflate, I can do like this, and I can push it in, and I can come forward slowly like that, and then as everything's pushed out, and then I fully pushed it out, and then I let it go, and it inflates, then my alertness, my yang, and then let it go, 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 let it go, let it go. And this is not this is not a fixed meditation practice. You can move around, you can stretch, you can do whatever you need to do to feel more comfortable. I can practice a big inflation and deflation. I can practice big waveforms like this. Or I can make it smaller. I can make it smaller and more subtle. right, thank you for tuning in. So I want to stay balanced, interactive, for the purpose of an effective training method. It's I would say, like, let's say as a conceptual martial artist. As a serious, legit martial artist, I guess I would go out there and put myself in harm's way, do some tournaments and exchange skills with other people to so that I actually so that it's legit, so that we know what level other people are at, what level I'm at, what's effective and what's not. So but I'm really just a conceptual martial artist, so at any rate, like, okay, I can't go out there and put myself in harm's way, but I can be on a live stream, and at least I can put myself in criticism's way. So 17 people watching now, so at least I'm in I'm in criticism's way. At least if I've said something that wasn't quite accurate about the anatomy, or something that someone else is watching who has a better understanding of psychology, or perhaps you have more superior vagal tone than I do, or whatever it is than I do, and you can help put me in the right direction. So yeah. So the thing is, how do you have an effective training method? That we have to understand really clearly what it is that we want to fine tune, and then we need to have example. We need to be able to see the examples of people who have achieved that, and then we have to be able to see people who who don't have it, and who are, it's like you need people who are worse than you, people who are better than you, and then people who are at the same level as you that you can interact with and, I don't know, spar with. I don't know how we do that online, but I'm sure we can improvise. So yeah, right. So I'm going to get a transcript for this. I'm going to put it through Grok, and I'm going to work with Grok, and hopefully I'm going to produce sort of a PDF, which I'll let people can freely download it. I'll put a link to it on my timeline. So I'll make a PDF with some diagrams, and probably even some math in there. Some people don't like math, but math is formulas, equations are very important, actually, and how it relates to important components. Yeah, right. So, my dear friend Grok, can you please Grok, please first process this whole transcript as a prompt, okay, and then turn it into an instructional meditation. So like the way I've explained, the way I've gone through my training and explaining so far, like it may be difficult to follow, right? But because of the context, the foundation that you and I, Grok, have already laid, so you already basically know what you have a good idea, right? So could you please turn this transcript into a an instructional meditation guide that people can easily follow and that they can easily digest, okay? And please include some relevant equations with regards to the relationship between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system and the kind of the axis between that of the vagal, the vagus nerve, and where you can go explain about the how vagal tone is enhanced through this process, and so first do that, and then I'll get you to make some diagrams and some charts that will help people to visualize the process. Right. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and feel free to ask me any questions, or if you have any comments or anything, please go ahead. Thank you.